for staying with us. Moving straight to our final conversation, political loyalty, when deeply rooted, can quickly turn into fierce confrontation. Supporters of Peter Obi, known as Obidients, have reacted strongly to remarks by the chairman of the Nigerians and Diaspora Commission, decorum, Abike Dabiri, who described them as monsters and suggested that they could harm Obi's political future. The group has pushed back, urging her to focus on her official duties and warning her against comments that could deepen political divisions. I mean, Bike, talk to me. What do you make of this story and the reaction from the Obidients?
Yes, I think Abike Dabiri and the Obidients had been having a ding-dong for some time. Whatever she posts, they will go and abuse her and all that. So some of these people think that they are the only ones who can abuse people. They abuse you believing that because you are a big person, you will not bother to answer. They say all kinds of, there's nobody that they don't take on. There's nobody that they don't abuse. You post something, maybe you saw something somewhere and you just forwarded it on your wall. People who have come to your wall, you know, will now be abusing you. They believe that because you share that thing, it must be what you believe in. But these are illiterates that we are dealing with.
I'm sure you get things like that too.
So sometimes we post things, not because that's our opinion, but to stimulate discussion.
Yes.
What kind of people are we dealing with that they now conclude that once you posted it, it must mean that you believe in it? In any case, if I believe in it, what is your business?
I have a right to my opinion.
Yes. So you now come to my wall and be abusing me. And some of them, they've locked their own wall. You can't even send them message, you can't do anything. But they have the guts to come to other people's wall and be abusing people. So I just think that Abike Dabiri got frustrated. She just felt that, okay, she could not take it anymore. And don't forget, even Soyinka said the same thing, that Peter Obi should rein in his supporters. But the last person who will try to rein in those people is Peter Obi himself. Peter Obi, who is reluctant to even criticize some violent combustions happening in the southeast. He will keep quiet, he will behave like he was not aware. And it's not the only person behaving like that. If something is wrong, you talk about it. But if it's somewhere else, you will be the one shouting on the rooftops. But if it happens in your own part of the country, you behave like you are not aware, that you are deaf to what has happened. So this is not fair. Abike Dabiri insists that even as a public official, she has the right to answer people who abuse her. She said these are people who eventually lead to Obi's downfall. I do not know whether that is exactly correct. I don't know. The only thing is, they've said that if Peter Obi won't be the presidential candidate, then he must not contest. We don't know yet whether any party will make him the presidential candidate or whether he will step down from the position that he was in 2023 and become deputy to a presidential candidate. We don't know yet. We don't know yet. And if he decides to do that, I don't believe that even that could lead to his downfall. It is his choice at the end of the day. I think that at the end of the day, he may not even do what the Obidients want. But now here, what Abike said, Peter Obi has actually raised monsters. By God's grace, at official bat, we win the 2027 election. When is the turn of the Southeast? And who knows? If the Lord falls on him, I hope he knows that these Obingos and Obidients will ironically be his downfall. He needs to call them to order. She also defended her decision to engage critics online. She said, this is my personal account. So because I'm a public official, I should keep quiet to rather of Peter Obi's toxic obedience. So as I've said, even now you will see Showore at every opportunity is abusing Peter Obi. It's because of the obedience. Because the moment you say something, even if you criticize him genuinely, because you can actually criticize people even with the fear of God,
criticism, yes,
they will start abusing you. They think that they are the only people who can abuse people. So this is the thing. People have the right to defend themselves if you abuse them on social media.
But looking at this, to what extent should Peter Obi be held responsible for the behavior of his supporters?
Well, it's unfortunate that I'm about to say this, but there's a saying that, show me your friends, and I will tell you who you are. Perhaps his reluctance is based on the fact that he shared some of the things, their sentiments his supporters are doing. Because if you are a leader and you are unable to call your supporters to order, it is either they are a mob, because mob has no sense of reasoning. They just act the way they want, or that you share their view and their opinion. You are just only using them as a megaphone for what you want to do. So I think Peter Obi is more or less a reflection of the people who are following him. It is as simple as that. It's a reflection of those who are following him. If he cannot talk, all notable Nigerians, when you share anything, they will abuse you, including respectable, even colleagues.
There's nothing,
even colleagues,
they have no training.
Even elder statesmen, they will abuse them. The moment you do anything against them, they will abuse you. Even their Governor Soludo of Anambra State, if any of the Southeast governors should say anything against Peter Obi, these people will come out and abuse. And if you do our research very well, 90% of them has no voters card.
Okay, but on the issue of Abike Dabiri, she used some choice words.
Choice words. As a public official, he has every right to her personal and individual opinion. Yes. And the mere fact that
you don't think she crossed the line with the choice of words?
I don't think so.
It's
because
as a
public official, it does not mean that you must put your head on the table for people to cut it every time. Yeah. Abike Dabiri has every reason to defend herself. Okay. And when you are trying not to talk and people put their hands in your mouth, you have to bite them.
You bite them now so that they don't come back.
You have to bite them. When you bite them, they won't come back.
If you make a habit of poking your hand into my mouth, once I bite you, you know that you are not supposed to come back. It's just like a child playing with lantern.
Okay, lantern.
Putting a hand on the lantern. One day, the father will press that hand so that he will not come back again.
Never come back again.
That's how you teach children who are stubborn.
Gen Zs may not understand what you just said
People who are pushing for military rule. They never saw military rule. What do they know? And they are not prepared to learn. They are origin people.
Most of them even have no voters card. You'll be surprised. Most of them will come out to vote.
Even if you didn't witness on, you can read about it. They are not even prepared to read. They are not prepared to engage in a meaningful argument, a healthy argument. They don't want it. They just come, they abuse it because they have no home training. It's as simple as that. If you just, whether on social media or not, people must have decorum.
That's true.
So if you are quick to abuse your elders, it says a lot about the kind of training or lack of it that you got. Absolutely. Because I don't know what will push me now to simply, because we had a misunderstanding or I don't agree with you, I will now be abusing you. That's what they do. So some of us, we just choose not to read. Sometimes some people will come and tell me, did you hear what they were saying about if every time I have to go to the comment section of TVC on YouTube to read what people are writing, I will not be able to do this job.
Exactly.
So I have to just turn it. I don't go there. I don't go there.
All right, gentlemen, it's a fine place for us to leave it.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much for doing this with us. BK, thank you so much.